On Saturday, November 2nd, starting at noon, Kevin Williams is helping sick kids by playing video games. He needs your help to raise $1,000 for the CHIO Foundation. Donate at extra-life.org/participants/347-875. The following podcast may contain immature content created by Danny Parkhill and Michael Walsh. Listener discretion is strongly advised.
I feel like I am, but I can't. Oh, wept. I asked my wife, so just now, I asked my wife to grab me a Pepsi, and first of all, she flipped me off, so I made a jerk-off motion in her general direction. She just came up right behind me and opened the Pepsi full blast in my ear.
Welcome to the Lasting Mark Podcast Show. This is Mike Walsh hanging out with Danny Parkhill. This is for the Juggalos and Juggalettes. Woop whoop. This.
Oh, God. All right, you win, sir. That was tremendous. Oh, my God.
I'm not going to lie. I may have went on a... good 15-minute YouTube binge watching some Superhuman.
I did that same thing. I had no idea this was a thing until...
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, I was watching WrestleMania the other day.
Yeah.
And there was a clip of Joey Janela at one of the GCW shows. I forget which one. It was one of the more recent ones where he does that whole thing, where he does the good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, this is, whatever. This is Joey Janela, and then he goes and, he botches it, long story short. But I'm like, what the is this? And it's like, oh, this is Superhuman or whatever. He's trying to be superhuman.
Yeah.
So I Google it, I YouTube it, and I see the one where he does an elbow drop onto a, microwave or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was the funniest I've ever seen in my entire life.
Dude, he's done over 100 of these stupid stunts.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, go check out Superhuman. That's Superhuman with 2 M's on YouTube.
And he has the same opening intro for every video. He always says the Superhuman TV show today, and he tells you what he's going to do. He'll be like, today I'm going to do a elbow drop onto thumbtacks in a microwave. And then he'll be like, I hope you like it. This is for my Juggalos and Juggalettes. And he's always wearing an ICP t-shirt.
Yeah, and he always says, I hope you like it. Whoop whoop.
And then he says, I hope you like it. Don't try this at home. I hope you like it. Then he takes off his shirt. He says, F this shit. And then he does it. And 90% of the time you're like, how did he not die? Like his internal organs must be spilling out.
Yeah, that the one where he does the elbow drop on the microwave in particular, like the way his body friggin' contorts is just absolutely nuts. Some of them, you could tell, it's a safer bump, I guess, but he does stupid too, going through barbed wire. So the thing is that I don't know. It must be a work, but
what parts of work? The part that he's a dumb motherfucker? No. Look at the way he does. He's obviously a very uneducated man.
Well, yeah, you see, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
No, I don't think it's a work. I've seen interviews with him and I don't think it's a work. Here's the I don't know if you've heard about this. This is the reason I brought this whole thing up, and I wanted to talk about Superhuman today. You heard he got signed to an indie league, and he's going
off, really?
and he's going to be making his debut very soon. I'm trying to find where I saved the file because I have the match where he's going to be making his debut, his opponents and all that. I'm trying to find it, but it's obviously somebody saw something in him. So anyways, he's going to be working for a company called Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling. All right. Now here's where it gets funny. It's going to be happening on October 11th in Cocoa, Florida. So there's going to be this fatal 5-way match, right? It's going to be this dude named Jerry Swirls, a dude named Chuckles, Superhuman, Joey Ryan, and Shark Boy.
Oh, like, I'm not... I don't know how I feel about that, man. I don't think I'm cool with it. You know? Because, I mean, there are how many friggin'... Well, I mean, let's be real here. You and I used to be backyarders. Yeah. Like, there have been a lot of backyarders through the years, and a good chunk of them are guys who just sort of did all the stupid...
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say stupid hardcore.
No,
I'm not a big fan of hardcore.
Yeah,
but
they didn't bother trying. They did the easy stuff. It was easier, especially in the backyard. It was in the backyard. It was easier to, make a spectacle of yourself rather than learn the craft.
Yeah, exactly. But then you had some of us who moved from that. And, we I got trained professionally. Yes, I did backyard wrestling, but when I wanted to start working indie shows, I went and I got trained. I spent money on it, and I bought gear, and I made myself look professional and act professional. And that's what I'm doing now. Like, there's a world of difference between, 2003 when I started backyard wrestling and, did the leg drops you've ever seen, to what I'm doing now, right? I don't think I'm a fan of any promotion, however small they are, giving attention to somebody like that because they have a whole bunch of YouTube views. Because I just think it will lead to more like that. Right, and someone taking a bump on a microwave doesn't mean they're going to be a good pro wrestler, and doesn't mean that they're going to represent the wrestling industry in a fair way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think it's 100% that it's just some dude doing stunts. I think there's a lot to do with it of why he's become popular and why people want to see more of him. Let's be honest. It's people like to make fun of certain styles of people. This young man, like I said before, I don't think he's the most intelligent guy on the planet. If he is and he's working us all, then he's the most intelligent guy I've ever seen.
What I saw, like, personally, I have a brother with autism, right? So, like, I saw this dude and I'm like, this dude's on the spectrum. Like, this dude is on the autism spectrum. Right? Is what my first thought was.
It was my first thought as well. And I gotta say, I suppose I must be guilty because I've been watching hundreds of hours of this guy too, laughing every single time. Yeah. But what am I laughing at, man? Am I laughing at a guy jumping, like if this was, a Harvard graduate just that loves wrestling, speaking normally and looking intelligent and dressing nice and everything, and then jumping on a microwave. Is that as funny as some poor kid jumping off a shitty f***ing porch wearing a beat-up f***ing ICP t-shirt? Which, again, you can't be that intelligent if you're a f***ing ICP fan.
Well, that's another story, but...
jumping through barbed wire, going... This is from my Juggalos and Juggalettes, whoop, whoop. I think it lends to the masses are basically making fun of this man for, being stupid.
I think this past 8 minutes has changed my mind on how I feel about this. Because you're right, like I'm watching it and I'm like, I shouldn't say like I'm thinking like this kid's an idiot, but it's like it's.
No, this kid's an idiot.
Well,
but you know what? A lot more people know the name Superhuman than they know the lasting mark at the moment.
Well, yeah, and you're right. But I mean,
so he's an idiot like a fox, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if I like it. You know what I mean? Him working at an indie show, that is.
As a matter of fact, I know like it or not,
but it's happening one way or the other.
Whether we like it or not, the guy's getting paid. Probably more. Probably more than you got paid at the last Chinluck show.
I don't know. Let's hope you're right. No, I'm kidding. Those guys take care of me. I can't about what I'm doing over there.
All right, let's move off of the Juggalos and Juggalettes.
Whoop whoop.
What do you got for us this week, Dano?
Well, first of all, do you want to say who you are before we go any further?
Well, I thought I did in the intro, but
okay. Well, I finally had one this week, so I was hoping you'd.
Oh, okay. I'll feed you, baby bird. I got you.
Yeah, please do.
So, so if you haven't figured it all out, not only am I not superhuman, I'm not Danny Parkhill.
Not Michael Walsh in paradise. Not Michael Walsh. There, I said it twice.
Yeah, I immediately regret setting you up for that. But right, this is the last thing, Mark. Thank you very much for being here, guys, and indulging a 10-minute episode or 10-minute conversation about Superhuman. But there's a whole lot more wrestling to talk about. Lots going on right now, be it Indies or WWE and AEW. I mean, AEW's got a big show coming up, obviously, in just a few days, actually.
Well, actually, there you go. That was a good segue, sir, because that was one of the first things I wanted to talk about. Was All Out coming up? It'll be done by the time
Balls Out.
Balls Out, as I like to call it. But big change to the old main event there. John Moxley, excuse me, getting hurt. Not getting hurt. It's a flare-up of an existing injury, his staph infection, which is very serious. So, I mean, all the best to John Moxley on recovering from that very fast. Apparently, they've caught it pretty early on, so apparently he should be good to go in the near future. A month or so, month and a half. But all the best.
Apparently, the kind of staph infection he has, like if gone too far, it can like cause amputation, if not death.
Oh yeah. Staph infections are no joke. Staph infections are no joke in general, and it's one of the things in pro wrestling in general that is scary, because I mean there's nothing you could really do about it. Like if it happens, it happens. Look at Matt Hardy got a staph infection at one point. Hardcore Holly got one, I believe.
There's been didn't shut the up about his.
Well, yeah, Z-Pack McGee over there. We'll talk about him a little bit later too.
Triple H got something different. He got a staph infection.
As soon as you just had to say that. Actually, it was China that got the staph infection.
True.
And okay, everybody, I want you to mute the podcast for the next 10 seconds. It was China that got the staph infection. It was so bad it ended up killing her.
Oh. Wah, wah.
I feel terrible about that. Let's be honest. I do feel bad about that joke. But if anybody disagrees with the fact that Triple H cheating on China with Stephanie McMahon was not the beginning of that woman's downfall, I will fight you. That is 100% a huge factor in what led to her issues and, unfortunately, later on her death. But there it is. Tasteless joke. Let's move on. The point being, staph infections are bad.
Agreed. And normally I'd say they shouldn't be taken lightly. However, did you see the scathing promo that the former
Kenny Omega,
the former opponent Kenny Omega cut on him?
Oh god, that was tremendous. That actually made me want to see the match more.
Now I gotta ask, was that a bit of a heel turn for Kenny?
Well, my understanding is it's tough to do faces and heels in the state that AEW is in right now, because everyone is just excited to see everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not so much you gotta have your traditional faces and heels. It's more, hey, we want to see Moxley versus Omega, or we want to see, whatever, Cody versus Joey Janela, or whatever, right? It's more in that stage right now. It's more getting people hyped for AEW. They don't necessarily need to have faces and heels at this moment, in my opinion.
Right.
But I mean, at the same time, you got to build drama for a match, and with Moxley going down with an injury, they're still going to do Moxley versus Omega. Let's be real; it's going to happen. This is not going to happen on Saturday. So I mean, to build drama towards that match, if you can take that real injury, right, or that real situation, and have Kenny Omega be like, "Huh, well, that's weird. I thought you wanted to be, king." The indies, I did all this already, and I didn't go down to some, injury, 2-3 months in, so yeah, it was a little heelish from Omega's part, but I mean, again, it's more building the drama. It's not going to get people to hate Omega necessarily, because again, that's not what people are trying to do right now. But it was a great way to build towards a future match with the two. It just made me want to see that much more. It was a great promo. If you guys haven't seen it, check out Being the Elite. It wouldn't be from this week as you guys are listening to this. It'd be from last week. I'm sorry, I don't know the episode number. But whatever last week's episode was, check that out. It's the very start of the show, so you can't really miss it.
My only problem with and maybe there's more in the episode. I didn't watch the whole episode. I only watched the promo. But they didn't do a whole lot to promote the fact that Pac has taken Moxley's place.
Yeah, and that's fair. Yeah, I don't know. That did seem... I do actually agree with you on that. It seemed a little weird. Again, in that same episode, they were sort of like, oh, what time is it in London? And, then it came up with a graphic saying Pac versus Omega, which, great. But, I mean, I wish they would have had either Pac cut a promo or Omega acknowledge it or something. But, I mean... Yeah. Again, like, sort of last-minute thing, so maybe it was just sort of like, it, we'll just kind of roll with it. Maybe they have plans for the show itself. Who knows? I don't know, but we'll see. Do you think people care as much about this match now? Do you think throwing together Pac versus Omega it does anything for anybody? Or? Okay, so for me
personally, I'm not excited, but I've never been a fan of Neville. I've never it. Doesn't matter where he's been. I've never been a big fan of his. I don't get his draw. I don't. His style is not for me. So I'm not excited about this match. But that's just me. I mean, your average AEW fan, do they care about Pac versus Omega?
I think in general, yes. I agree with you. If I had my choice between Moxley and Omega and Pac versus Omega, I'd pick Moxley 10 times out of 10. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, again, given the circumstances and they kind of had to rush to put something together, this isn't the worst decision that they could have made on it. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be a good match. I think it'll go over fine, but, I think it's a good replacement. I don't think it would... I think if they booked this over Moxley versus Omega, maybe not so much. But no, I think it's fine.
Cool.
Hey, this is a commercial for patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca, where you can get early access to episodes of your favorite WrestleMedia shows, get full uncut and uncensored versions of your favorite shows, and more. Don't want to hear this commercial on your podcast anymore? Sign up at our main event tier and get these episodes ad-free. Want to hear your own commercial here instead of ours? We've got tiers for that too. Visit patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca and join the WrestleMedia revolution today.
Speaking to AEW, before we get into All Out, I want to talk about an actual AEW star, or, well, wrestler. Let's not call him a star quite yet. What's your feelings on Chuck Taylor?
I like Chuck Taylor.
You like Chuck Taylor?
Yeah, I like him. He's a good worker. Has a pretty good ring presence. Has a good presence with the crowd. He gets over. Yeah, he's good. Chuck
Taylor needs to learn to shut his mouth and stay off Twitter.
Well, what do you do?
that's Chuck Taylor. Well, I've been wanting to talk about Chuck Taylor for a bit because he did something about a month ago I didn't like, but then followed it up with another stupid mistake a couple days ago and pissing people off. So his first mistake for me as a fan was he got right pissed off and right after Marco Stunt got signed. And he basically tore Marco Stunt apart, saying, "I've worked hard to look the way I do, and you know, to get signed to a place like AEW, and they go and sign a little like weakling like Marco Stunt, and it makes us all look bad."
That's something.
And number
like,
one,
no offense, but Chuck Taylor isn't exactly Braun Strowman. You know, he looks good, but he's not like, holy shit, this guy is
right.
jacked as shit, you know.
And well, number one, I don't agree with that because number one, I think it takes all sorts of people, you know, styles and sizes and shapes to make a good company. Look at even WWE. You know what I mean? You have a Rey Mysterio, a Kevin Steen, and a Braun Strowman all in the same company. You know what I mean? Marco Stunt is a small guy, but he's entertaining as f***. He has been one of my favorite members of GCW for the last year. I was excited when he got signed to AEW because that just means more people are going to see him. I love me some Marco Stunt, and I love that they put him with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus because more eyes on that team is a good thing too.
Yes, I agree.
Chuck Taylor being mad about that, I think that just means he's jealous that more people know the name of Marco Stunt than Chuck Taylor at the moment. And that just means he needs to do more work to get himself over. And poor you have to work a little bit. You know, two guys had Marco's back, though, and made it very clear on Twitter that signing Marco to AEW was a great idea. And that was the Jackson boys.
There you go.
The Young Bucks themselves basically said, "Who the f*** is this Chuck Taylor guy?" So I thought that was pretty cool. And then Taylor went and put his foot in his mouth again about a week or so ago, where, I'm sure you're familiar with the restaurant Ribera.
I am, yes.
Okay, for those who are not, there's a steakhouse in Japan that is named Ribera that is synonymous with wrestlers. When wrestlers from all over the world will go wrestle in Japan, it's a tradition that a lot of the wrestlers go to this restaurant, and the ones that are respected enough usually get awarded this coat from Ribera's.
And it's known as like a status symbol to have
it
this
is a
jacket.
status symbol, yeah.
Like guys like CM Punk and John Cena and like the big names, they have this jacket along guys with like Stan Hansen, and I think Vader had one back in the day.
Yeah,
you know, it's a really cool jacket to have. Not buy. Well, you have to get given the jacket. That's
no, you have to. You can't buy it. It's got to be gifted to you by the people at Ribera.
That's right.
So, and this has been going on since the 70s, if I'm not mistaken.
It's been a very long time.
Yeah. So, Chuck Taylor puts on his Twitter, he goes, "I went to Ribera with Okada and walked out without a jacket. Ribera's."
Did Okada get a jacket? I would think
Okada probably already has a jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Chuck Taylor's pissed off that, you know, he went in there with one of the greatest Japan stars in history, and he still walked out with a jacket.
Yeah, well, so, I mean, he's not one of the biggest stars in Japan history.
He's
worked New Japan. That doesn't mean
he hasn't earned that jacket yet. Well, one Dave Batista replied to this tweet, basically saying, "You need to delete this tweet right now before this gets too far." As somebody who I'm showing you respect by telling you delete the tweet instead of ripping you a new asshole kind of thing. He's like, delete this tweet right now because what you're doing is disrespecting one of the biggest traditions in our industry, and that's wrong. Mm-hmm. Within minutes, Taylor went and deleted it.
There you go.
So hopefully he just realized that what he did was wrong, and he wasn't just afraid that Big Dave was going to go and eat him. But it was cool. Like but it's cool that Batista came and did that so as respectfully as he did.
Mm-hmm. Let's be clear. AEW is a big deal. It doesn't automatically mean everybody there is a huge, gigantic star. You know,
no, it's still a growing company.
It's still a growing company, you know, and the workers involved, for the most part, the workers involved are still on the stage of professional wrestling as a whole. Like, if you ask your average WWE fan who Jungle Boy is, they're not going to be able to tell you. You know, no. If you ask them whoever is.
Half these guys are still doing indie dates. Okay?
Exactly.
If you still need to work the indies, you know, while working for a certain company, you haven't made it that big quite yet. I'm sorry, you haven't. If you can't afford to work in one place, you have to travel around, then you're not quite there yet.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
You know what I mean? I like, some people choose to, and that's fine. Look at Cody. Cody didn't need to go do that C4 show.
No, of course he didn't.
You know, and neither did Joey, but they chose to.
Yeah.
That's different. Mm-hmm. But Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, these guys, and Marco Stunt, they're not, you know, you think they want to be going to bum Idaho
probably not at this point.
On a Thursday night when they could be working the bigger shows? Of course not. They have to, because they got to feed themselves.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, again, it's AEW is at the point now where, yes, it's great to get out there, it's great to get on television, and it could be a big thing. It really could. As of right now, it's a big thing among hardcore wrestling fans, which is excellent, and these guys are going to get recognition because of that. But, you know, again, like if you ask the average wrestling fan, like the casual wrestling fan, who the vast majority of these names are, with the exception of Cody, Jericho, and like maybe Omega and the Young Bucks, they're not going to have an answer for you, you know?
Yep, agreed. Yeah, even the guys that we consider big names, like Joey Janela, most people aren't going to know who he is.
Yeah, like, I mean, look at it's weird for me to see the Dark Order, because, I mean, like, those guys, I've seen them at 20 million different indie shows at this point, you know?
Yeah.
But it's weird to see them on television, you know, on what will be television on a regular basis, you know? But again, like, I really hope that those, well, I mean, I'm, you know, selfishly, I'm hoping those guys in particular get over, but I hope everybody gets over, you know? But as of right now, you know, a lot of these guys are still, no, I shouldn't say unknowns, but you know what I'm trying to say here? Like, they're not.
I know exactly what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
They're not
exactly Hulk Hogan
there yet. Yeah.
Exactly.
And going back to the whole Rivera thing, you need to earn, and this is not just a jacket at a restaurant. You need to earn respect wherever you go. If you've only been around for a cup of coffee, you haven't earned it yet. And that's not just the AEW guys. This goes over to WWE too. You know, there's certain guys in NXT or even on the main roster that I think still have some work to do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just because, at least
if you believe the dirt sheets, that is.
Well, yeah. But anyways, before we get off the AEW train, I know you wanted to talk some All Out, so let's do that. What do you want to do? Are we talking predictions, or you just want to shoot through the card, or what?
Oh, we're going to talk about AEW, all right. We're going to talk all about AEW and a whole bunch of other great topics, including the greatest storyline of all time. That's right. I'm going to tell you guys how to get The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and The Undertaker in the same ring together at WrestleMania. But y'all gotta pay. That's right, you gotta head over to patreon.ca/WrestleMedia.ca. Throw a few in that there bucket to get the full version of this episode of The Lasting Mark. Again, that's patreon.ca/WrestleMedia.ca for the full version of this podcast. Thank you so much for listening to the half-hour version of this. I am not Michael Walsh. He was not Danny Parkhill. We will see you next week. Thank you so much. Hugs and kisses.
This has been a presentation of WrestleMedia, where everything is wrestling and wrestling is everything.